What is up, Buckeye Nation? Oh, he's flexing. He's already flexing. Sugar Ray Shane Larson, the Boise Buckeye, the game time guru here with Flow Co. Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Great. Two co-founders right here. Johnny the Bullet, the third co-founder right here. Guys, we had game one. It's in the books. We're here to talk about it, obviously. Here to talk about it. I want to know what you guys think, though. First, put your comments in the comment section. Give us your first reaction to the game. We got to know what you want. We're all talking about it. Everybody, you've seen Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Everybody's talking about it. We need to hear your comments on it, but we're going to give you our comments right now. Sugar Ray, Shane Larson, did you enjoy the game?
I did. And again, this is a sound off for all you Buckeye fans. So sound off. Let us know in the comment section. That's what we're here for. We want to chat with all of you guys. But Cory, I did, because I wasn't going into this expecting a ton. I feel like, if you watch Twitter, you watch the Twitter feeds, our fan base is very, very hard on these quarterbacks and everyone. Like everything we had questions on are the places that we struggled, but we still won by 20 points. Me and you even talked about it last week, a couple days ago, about we didn't know if we were going to cover a 29-point spread. In fact, I said we're not going to cover a 29-point spread. And I believe you said the same thing. It's going to be hard to. So it was exactly kind of how I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a conservative game. We talked about, does Kyle McCord. There was a whole segment on, does Kyle McCord play conservatively? Well, part of that's play calling. Part of that's just him trying to make sure he gets himself in a rhythm. The whole first half was that way, and wasn't anything out of the ordinary, for me. I honestly enjoyed just seeing Buckeye football out there, and there were some good things to take away and some things that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But what about you, man?
I think it's a microcosm of a new quarterback playing football, right? We'll talk about Kyle here, obviously, in a second, but I mean that we're going to go into that. But there's a lot of questions that we had. I think I said in my Indiana preview, the two positions are going to be interesting. Like, I think the secondary played pretty well overall. I thought they would play well. I thought they'd have a surprise kind of game. Now, granted, the offense wasn't really tailored to challenge the secondary, but it still remains to be seen. But I said the offensive line would leave us wondering, and they had. I think they did. They left us wondering. We both said they're not going to cover the spread. They didn't. I thought they would win by 25, but they won by 20. Okay. Maybe they didn't win the way we expected to win, but it's a W. It's a dominant W overall on the road against a Big Ten opponent. Who knows how good Indiana will be this year? Who knows how good Ohio State will be this year? But to come to any definitive conclusions right now after one game, to me, is just really silly. Last year, if you'd asked me what we're going to do all year, I'd be well, we're going to go 8-4 because we barely beat Notre Dame by 11 at home. I mean, the offense looked terrible. But actually that didn't come to fruition, obviously. But it's just, again, you just don't know. You just never know. But I'm happy for the W. I'm always happy. As I get older and I'm getting 5 days from 40, I'm going to keep mentioning that until I turn 40 because it's just a big milestone there. I tell you, man, I just enjoy these wins more because it's so hard to win in college football, especially the parity of today. I'm not saying Indiana's some great team, but the parity of today, keeping yourself high every game. NIL, recruiting, hijinks, transferring like crazy nowadays. I mean, Indiana's got like 45 transfers. So it's just hard to win in today's college football. So I just enjoy it.
Totally. I'm with you on that one, man.
And so that was your first reaction to the game. Okay. But let me ask you, what stands out first to you? Like, what's the first thing you think of when you think of this game?
First thing I think of when I think of the game, I'm not going to say the cliche answer, which is, the defense did so great. They did. I think the defense stepped up. But my first reaction, honestly, and people are going to hate this, is I thought Kyle McCord wasn't as bad as you would. Like, if you were to go only watch the Twitter feed of the game, you would have thought he was playing atrocious. No, he did not play bad at all. Like, he had a bad pick on a 4th and 2, which was a terrible play call in the first place. One of our receivers slipped down on that. I thought McCord played exactly how I expected him to play. And it was interesting, Cory, like when they let him start opening up the play, like they started spreading the offense out, going out of the shotgun, open up the playbook a little bit, let it spread it downfield. He was making throws. And if Marvin Harrison, arguably the number 1 receiver in college football, doesn't step out of bounds, there's a touchdown there and they do win by 24, 25 points. So it's like, he stepped out of bounds and get back. That's on him. That's not on anybody else. But Ford
And
Mason,
that was a really nice throw by Kyle, by the way, too. That was a split that cover 2 zone. I think it was a cover 2, if I recall correctly. I have to watch it again.
35 yards across the field. So anyway, my whole point is that my first thing is Kyle McCord played good. I'm not going to say he's this dominant quarterback, but I thought Kyle McCord stood out, and that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he answered all the questions, obviously, but why would you think you're going to get all the answers in week 1 against Indiana? I mean, even if he went on and went 33 of 35 for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, would you, oh, man, he's already better than Dwayne Haskins or Justin Fields or CJ? No, you still wouldn't come to that conclusion because it's Indiana. You don't know. You were not going to leave this game knowing who he was, no matter how he played. I think that it's a microcosm of how he played. It was that he tried to make the right play. He checked down a lot. He was trying to be smart, not turn the ball over. Just trying to keep the chains moving. There's a couple times he looked pretty decent doing so too, and sometimes he just wasn't confident or he was a little timid in the pocket. Okay, he's a young QB. He's making essentially his first start. I know Akron he started, but we all knew it was CJ's job. This is like Kyle. This is for you, man. There's nobody there going to take it from you. I know everybody's saying, no, Devin Brown. Sorry, but if you can't tell by today's actions that Devin Brown is not near QB1, I don't know what to tell you. But Kyle McCord is there, and you just got to he's got the ball in front of him. He's just, sometimes you just got to figure your own style, figure your own way as you play the season. You can run as many practice reps as you want. It's not going to define you as a quarterback. It's the games that define you. I agree with you. I give him like a solid C+, B- for this game. He was better than average. I mean, he had some bad moments for sure. He missed some people. He made some bad decisions, I thought, at times. But at the same time, yeah, like you said, Harrison doesn't step out of bounds or doesn't get tackled on 4th down. On the 4th down play, doesn't get tackled with the ball not even being there. Nobody called anything, of course. And if he finds the lane in the middle of the field, I mean, yeah, he made some mistakes. I mean, for sure, but there was also plays that were out of his control. He made some really nice throws. Honestly, darts to Julian Fleming in the middle of the field. Cade Stover, what touch pass over the middle of the field. Over, I think it was a linebacker. I can't recall at this point. To, like you said, to Marvin Harrison. He made some nice throws. That 4th down and 9 to Mine Williams. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
That was sweet. That was clutch. That was great.
Beautiful pass. He's got some potential, man. So I'm actually excited. Whereas some people are sitting there frustrated about it, Corey, I'm actually excited to see if he can progress on this. And the Devin Brown situation, I'm confused just as much as the rest of the fan base. On Ryan Day said before, on the broadcast, he's going to give him snaps too, and he did let him in 4. I think it was on the 4th possession or 5th possession, let him in the game, and then just ran it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I don't think he gave him a fair shake if that's really what he was trying to do. I personally don't think he gave him a fair shake if that's what the plan was. But at the same time, just root the guy on and be excited for it. That's my thoughts. But I want to hear what the rest of Buckeye Nation has to say.
Well, I agree, guys. Comment what you thought about Kyle McCord. We do want to hear what you have to say. But I want to say one more thing. I think there's still some hold on to hope that Devin Brown's still in this. I'm sorry. If today's game was any indication, I'm sorry, you can't come to conclusions. But Ryan Day's actions spoke pretty loudly that Kyle McCord's the guy. Whether you like it or not. And at this point, if he's the guy, you just gotta. What choice do you have but to try to root for him and hope he gets better? He wasn't 6 of 28 for 30 yards and 3 picks. I mean, that's what people are acting like he was. I'm like, he was 20 of 33, 230 some odd yards, and he had a pick and should have had a touchdown. Okay, it's an okay game. It's not great by any means. I've had, as much as people were comparing him to CJ, I'm like, I've seen CJ have plenty of those types of games. So, and it doesn't mean CJ was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it just means that sometimes it's a first start on the road. Calm down a little bit. People assume because our wide receiver core is so good that any quarterback should be able to come in and just destroy it. That actually kind of disproves that notion that our quarterbacks are only good because of how good the wide receivers are. But yeah, I'm Shane. I'm with you. I'm actually excited to see him grow. I'm excited to see what he does next week against Youngstown State. You got to figure he's going to play a lot better against that team. Wouldn't you figure that?
I hope so. I hope so. You only hope they can progress. And I think it's.
Oh yeah, if he has an average game next week, I'll be like, okay, Kyle, you're going to have to grow pretty fast here.
He'll be all right. I think the offense will get running. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so we did have a positive day. I thought we showcased quite a bit of talent at running back.
Yeah.
Henderson looked explosive at times, but again, the offensive line sometimes just got destroyed at the point of attack, and he just couldn't go anywhere in the backfield. Mayan Williams had some nice runs, a nice touchdown run. I mean, together they only average about 3.5 yards per carry, though, unfortunately. Chip Trayanum. I've been saying it since last year in Michigan. This guy can play. Yeah. And we just, for whatever reason, I mean, I'm glad we're finally, showcasing him, saying, hey, look, this guy's good. He needs to be on the field. Our friend Dylan Freeman here at the podcast said that Chip is RB3. He said it in the group chat. He's like, I already know this is the two-headed monster with Mayan and Trevian, but Chip is RB3. And I was like, are you really above Dallin and Evan Pryor? Okay. And then he turned out to be right today. What was your impression, Shane? I mean, you saw just the run game in general. We saw the stretch boundary runs, which never seem to work. But the power run seems to work. Let me ask you something. What was your impression overall of the run game?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I want to give Henderson a little bit of a break here in regards to, he showed some flashes in the beginning of the game. I also don't think the play calling played to his benefit. Our offensive line was absolutely terrible at run blocking, especially in the first half. But that's also because we're going under center. We're trying to run between the tackles. Henderson's not a between the tackles runner. This is how it is. You got to stretch him out, like get him in a little bit of space, whether that's a stretch, a sweep, whatever it is. Get people in motion, get the defense moving so that he can get out there. He's not going to break through on the inside between the tackles. He was getting hit pretty hard. So to that point, I don't think they did him any favors either. Now, I was really impressed. Mayan Williams, same thing that I always expect from him. He can break tackles, get a couple, like 1 or 2 extra yards after contact. That's kind of how he runs. He's not going to be your speed guy, but he's going to be effective. I loved him on the wheel route that we were just talking about with McCord. I thought he showed there. I would have loved to see more get your run. Like, I love Henderson. I wish we would use him in the passing game more, get him out in open field. That's where he's going to be effective. But I love Chip. I think Chip played. I think Maurice Claret was the one who tweeted it out saying he runs like I do. I said the same thing. I think he does. He runs like he does. He kind of has a similar style. Give him the ball. He knows how to read, especially on the sweeps. It's kind of an awkward run, but he knows how to read the blockers and then get out, high knees, break a tackle, get to the sticks. I thought they showed that we have some talent. We got some depth there. And that's crazy because, Corey, in the Georgia game, Dallin Hayden came in and did his thing the best that he possibly could. Like, he came in and played well, in my opinion, for being a youngster. And the fact that we've got Chip coming up in the depth chart, and he'll probably get a lot of touches moving forward, just shows that we have some serious potential. But again, it's game 1. So just like we can't overreact with the quarterbacks, I don't think we can overreact with the running backs. I think they're going to watch film and say, okay, maybe they give Henderson another shot at it. Maybe they give Henderson another shot and try to schematically put him in space. So I guess we'll have to see. But I was pretty impressed with our guys.
Yeah, I think our run game is going to be pretty good as the year goes on. It's just a matter of the O-line gelling, obviously. It was some miscommunication there, and there are probably some things on film that we could look at and never know that we're even seeing or not seeing. So hopefully, I trust Justin Fry. He's just got his work cut out for him this year. 3 new starters on that line. That's just tough, no matter who it is,
Keep in mind, though, too, Corey, with this offensive line, we knew what we had there. We're like, yeah, it's going to be a work in progress. They need to, the second half, they showed a little bit different. This is how Ohio State kind of is. They wear its body shots. It's going to be kind of how it is moving forward. You're going to have to wear guys down. The second half is when you're going to start seeing them pick up the pace. They did pretty well for the most part in pass protection, I thought, anyway. And, I would love for Ryan Day and everybody here to move the line a little bit. That's what he used to do with CJ. That's what he did with Lane. Move them. So, get them in motion, play action, roll this way, and shift the field. So it helps the offensive line as well. If you've got a young line, help them by getting the quarterback moving out of the pocket. Yeah, it shrinks the field for the receivers, but it also, historically speaking, has let our receivers have one-on-one coverages and they beat their guy in the middle of the field. And it lengthens the play so they can get open. So I don't know. I just think there's some things they can do to put these offensive linemen in a better spot, because I didn't think they were terrible at pass blocking. I thought they were absolutely terrible at run blocking. And a lot of those yards after contact were just simply because the running backs had grit.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We also said that, Simmons was a little bit of a liability in the run game. I got to go back and watch it again to see how Heinzman and Fryer did. Somebody said Fryer was doing really good in the run game. So I'd like to see what I don't know. I have to look. I go look at it. And again, when you're watching real time, it's hard to zero in on, okay, we watch the O-line. So you got to go back and watch the game 2, 3, 4 times. We'll have videos about that coming up next week about our little segment called Upon Further Review. see what we noticed during the game. So this is just a kind of a first reaction, guys. Whoever's watching this, let's go to the other side of the ball. We're going to go at least one more week, Shane, where we don't hear the fire Jim Knowles chants. Indiana. I don't know how good their offense is going to be. They were ran. I give the defense credit though. There's no way they expected Indiana to run that style of offense in the first half going into that game, and they still adjusted and darn near shut them out. Yes, there was some things that bugged me a little bit, but gosh, I think the defense gets a solid B plus, A minus. Gosh, I think they played pretty lights out overall. Because 3 points it's hard to complain about that, especially on the road. I don't care who it is. It's tough. It's funny because Iowa scored more points than us today, but we allowed 11 less points than they did. So,
well, Cory, the thing that we talked about the other day was I wanted to see. You asked me what did I want to see from the defense. I wanted to see the front seven. I wanted to see how they really were able to work, and I thought today they did a phenomenal job for the most part, getting their wrapping up. Not a lot of extra yards, getting to the ball. If the ball's in open space, they all get there. There wasn't a ton of breakaway plays. I got a fly sitting right here. There weren't a ton of breakaway plays or anything of that nature. They for the most part, held their own, dominating that front seven area. And I thought that was awesome. We're going to have to continue to do that. It's hard in an offense like that. Those types of offenses always neutralize good defenses because it's just assignments. You're not going to have flashy statistics, tons of turnovers. You're just going to have to do your job and hope to get them off the field. And that's just how those types of offenses work. That's just the reality of it when you play that. And I thought we did a great job, man. They came out there and they adjusted the way they were supposed to on the fly in the first game. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, this is what you're right. This wasn't an offense you could play against where there's a defensive star. This is an offense you play against where everybody has to be assignment ready and not try to be the hero. You have to play your assignment, be disciplined in the gap, and they did that for the most part. I'm not saying there wasn't a couple of gash run here and there or whatever, a big play here and there. They didn't allow a huge play to break away to go. That was part of Jim Knowles' Achilles heel last year. Is the defense would allow just breakaway plays now and again, but shut you down the rest of the game. They didn't allow that today. They shut them down pretty much the whole game. I felt like they did. Again, as much as you could ask. I know Indiana sustained a couple drives, but again, you're asking for. It basically saying if a pitcher doesn't pitch a perfect game every game, he stinks. And that's what you're saying if you're upset about a couple drives. But overall, I thought the defense played really good. I got to look at the game again to really see some stats. Malik Hartford stood out a little bit. That guy is a dude. He's going to be a baller. It's very rare I say that about. This is why I don't think that, and people when CJ Hicks didn't play much, and people say, well, they just refused to play him. He's obviously better than all the rest of them. I'm like, well, look at Malik Hartford getting real reps. You're telling me that they like Malik more than they do CJ personally or something? Maybe CJ isn't as assignment ready as you think. Just maybe. Not to say he's not talented, but maybe his head is not in the defense just yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not getting better either. But Malik Hartford's a true freshman, and he's already on the field stuffing fourth downs and things it's just like he's almost picking the ball off. I'm just saying they're clearly okay with him playing, so why not CJ?
Totally. Yeah, a lot of guys stood out today. I think that's a good one right there.
And I think Tommy played pretty decently. Nothing flashy. Just was in on a lot of tackles. I think the D line played pretty well. They got pushed at times. Something I'd like to see a little pressure when the quarterback gets back. Actually, did get back in the pocket in the second half. But again, when you run that style of offense, it's like I'll go back to baseball. You're throwing a fastball, then a curveball, then a chain. And then you're just throwing all kinds of different pitches. It doesn't allow you to be as aggressive as you'd like to be in the pass rush. So I'm kind of giving this defensive line a mulligan for not, getting the sacks and the pressure we kind of expected. But I actually thought Indiana would be in that pro-style offense because of Taven Jackson. I thought that because he's more of a prototypical QB, but they weren't. So Jaden McKenzie, how about that as a name? I thought he'd been transferred by now, and not to knock him, I'm just saying, look at him, man, and he played a nice game.
A lot of guys stood out, man. I want to hear what the rest of Buckeye Nation has to say. So We want to know who you guys thought stood out. This is the sounding board. This is the reaction video. That's why we want you guys to tell us what you guys think too. But I like the front seven. Cory gave his guys out there. Let us know what y'all thought. Good, bad, indifferent. Let us know.
And let me remind you guys who are commenting, please don't come to definitive conclusions off of week 1. It's okay to have opinions on the game, and don't get me wrong. But if you're coming out saying, oh, we're definitely losing to Michigan, it's like, really? It's 11 games from now.
Yeah, we got a lot of time left. A lot of time left. So
this is just the beginning. We'll see where they grow from here. Shane, why don't you send us out, buddy?
Hey, guys, again, hit the subscribe button. Cory's turning 40. Hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Help us get more subscribers. We'd love to get to the 5,700 mark, like we said before. We didn't get it before Indiana, but we'd love to get it before Cory turns 40. So got 5 days, he says. So help us out there. But we're getting ready. We're going to have more content coming for you guys this next week. We got Bucks and Brew. We're going to get ready for the next game. So tap in, share this with the rest of Buckeye Nation. And as always, God bless and go Bucks.
Go Bucks, baby.